Welcome back to the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. We're brought to you by Yak Gadget. For all your kayak fishing accessory needs, go to yakgadget.com. Pelican cases, coolers, and lighting. Go to pelican.com. The 153 Bait Company. For all your hard and soft bait needs, go to the 153anglers.com. Now let's get this show started.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Welcome back to another edition of Chasing the Tide, your saltwater connection on the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. I'm your host, Dustin. Y'all know me. What's up, everybody? Glad to be back. Booking along this year. We had a little recap show to kick off the year of what was going on in 2021. 2022 starting off with a bang with less time for me on the water. We're currently in an outage at work, and that's limiting my my time in that plastic boat. So with that, we're going to kick off this episode. We're going to bring on our guest. We have Rashad Womack Mack. Everybody calls him Mac. We're going to bring him on in here and get y'all introduced to him, man. What is going on tonight? What's up, brother?
What's up, dude? What is up, man?
Oh, yeah. Got some Northeast Florida boy in the house tonight. Dude, that's what I'm talking about. Ooh, Duval. Yeah, man. Stoked to get you on the show, man. You normally bring everybody on and just give a quick backstory, a rundown, introduce yourself, tell everybody your name, where you're from, kind of give a backstory, how you got into fishing and what led you into that plastic boat.
All right. My name is Rashad Womack. Everybody calls me Mac. Got a YouTube channel, go by the Plastic Boat Boy. So basically, I'm not from Northeast Florida. I'm from Virginia, Newport News, Virginia. So my family is a long line of fishermen. So, fishing has been around since, for me, since I was able to go ahead and fish. But I really started getting into it. I want to say when I got here to Florida, I really dug in. But back home, we surf cast. 12-foot rods or better, throwing 8 ounces of lead across the pier, chasing cobia, bull reds and whatnot. So
I was in Norfolk, so Virginia Beach area.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I got a buddy stationed there. We visited there before, and I've surfed some surf contests up there, and had some good times up there in Palm Beach.
Show me how to surf, man.
Hey, there's some ways in Jacksonville, man. Mayport and Naval Base.
I hear. I was just
Pier.
joking. I'm not surfing.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna surf that plastic boat. That's what I'm surfing.
Yeah. Shoot, yeah, man. So Virginia, grew up there, surf casting.
Yes, sir.
And then came on back, and then you relocated down there, relocated to Florida.
Yeah.
Really put you back into it, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Got to putting together patterns and figuring fish out, and and definitely made a pastime of it. And more than a pastime, it's almost like it consumes most of my time. So I love it.
I can definitely relate to that.
I know you can.
Because I grew up surfing, like Eastern Surfing Association, surf contests. I skated skateboard events. I had sponsors in those fields, like working with surf shops and being on their team, and then kind of getting hooked up. And that's kind of what, and I fished my whole life myself. Growing up in Southeast Georgia, down there's always farm ponds. There's always golf course ponds you can sneak onto and catch some good fish. And then there's there's bridges to fish off of, plenty of piers and access. So it was just my uncles fished, my dad fished, my grandpa, they always would take me too. So it was just like looming that it was going to full circle back to me to really get back into it again. Because when I was a kid, that's all I wanted to be. I said, man, I want to be a bassman. I want to fish Bassmaster Tour. I watch Jimmy Houston every morning. I watch Bill Dance every morning. Be Roland Martin. Then there's some guy from Jacksonville that had a show. I would watch him. He'd always be on Robin Reservoir throwing shiners, catching big old giants, dude.
Oh, C.A. Richardson.
There's a couple of them, yeah. It was it was always part of my life too growing up. Go fish, catch some, have some fish fries. And all
that's
that.
What it is. That's what it was for me. It was a fish fries. My family loved to eat fish, bones and all.
I eat the tails, the crispy tails.
Oh no, man!
Panfish. Ooh, man, the throats on the redfish, with some cheese grits. Oh man, yeah, I could eat all day. Man, I could talk about food. I just I'll make the paint fall off the walls, man. Come on.
All right. I weigh 350 pounds, man. I ain't get this way by not eating. You know what I mean? I love food too.
So what led you down to the Jacksonville area, Northeast Florida area?
It was kind of strange, man. See, my uncle, he fished. It's really what got me into fishing or kept me into fishing. They did a family vacation here every year. Orlando, they would go. I wasn't for Disneyland and all that stuff like that, so I would come and I would head to Sebastian's Inlet and fish for like 3 days. And I took a beating there, man. The sun tore me up. The fish didn't love me. And then I took off to Clearwater to Skyway Pier or Bridge. And I would fish every time I come, I would fish that. And I say, why am I driving down here, once a year to try to get on these fish? So I had an opportunity to come to Jacksonville to visit. And that's when, I started looking at places. My job said I could transfer. I was going to, find an opening. Somebody accepted me. It was like fast forward, boom. I'm like, hey, So yeah, but I've been fishing ever since I got here, dude. Every weekend, just about figuring it out.
Man, and how long you been in the area now?
It's been about 8 years.
8 years. Cool deal.
Yeah,
cool deal, man. Man, that area is just, there's so much. It's vast. All the coastal creeks and feeder creeks and river systems, and then there's great bass fishing down towards Palatka, St. John's, all the Orange Lake, Crescent Lake, Rodman, all that good stuff over there. And then you got all that stuff down towards St. Augustine, Guana, Tolomata Reserve, all that good stuff, man. There's some giant trout in there. I'm gonna make it over there. I'm gonna have to get up over there. Oh, there ain't no trout in there.
Nah, I don't.
I don't know what y'all talking about. Yeah, man. Yeah, I had got me a good one last week before last, right before I started that turnaround. I got me a 27 and a half. Just set up perfect. I just had an article come out today in one of our local.
I just read that.
Magazines, talk about daydream. And that's all I've been doing, staring at a computer screen, daydreaming about that way that fish come up out of the water and throw their head.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Well, next time to put it on.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be all over it. So once you got relocated and you got down here and you were fishing more areas and all that, what got you in that kayak though? What was that? Again, the same as everybody else, just wanting to branch out and have more area, or?
Oh yeah, I guess so. I sat there on the bank and I was fishing. Mind you, I'm tearing the trout up. Like I'm catching trout left and right, nobody's business. I look up and I see dudes hopping on the kayaks, pulling their stringers out. They got the mixed bag. They got, yelling about the PB and all that stuff like that. So I mean, nothing's wrong with bank fishing at all. Yeah. But at some point, that landlocked type of fishing, your luck runs out. It's it. The fish if the fish make a move, you can't move with them. You got to wait until the conditions are back right again. So I would say where I'm from, nobody kayak fish. It took a lot for me to step in Black Creek Outfitters. I don't know if you heard about them. They have a pond in the back out here. Yeah. And you can go and demo. And I did a Jackson Big Rig. Was the first kayak I ever stepped in. And anyway, after that, I started chasing and finding, bigger kayaks that would suit me better. And I stumbled upon a new canoe, F12. Yeah. I could stand up in that thing. I could jump around. I just had a paddle, and I learned. I respect the game a lot from paddling.
Yeah, I started out paddling for many years. And that's when you learn about the different strokes and how to control your boat really well. But I'm telling you, when you get that pedal drive, though, it's like, man, my hands are free. I could do whatever. I could keep fishing into the wind.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I said that when I was paddling. I can't remember who I told to, but I said, I was like, I don't need a pedal. I get along with these paddles. As soon as I hop in that Hobie, what in the world? Well, who needs a paddle? That's ridiculous. That was fun, man. You never sit on that spot and fish. That's good stuff.
Yeah, you just sit on it and you get to point A and point B a lot faster. And then once you add an electric motor, it's even more, man. It's just like the range you get, and then just the extra time on the water, extra time, at the spot for the fish, especially on like a tournament day or something, and you really need to get to that spot and get that right on time for that bite window. And then you know, you're just there and you got a lot more time to set up and get on that spot right.
Yeah.
You know, that's what a pedal drive too. You set up into the wind and kind of hold your position. It's just, man, there's just so many gadgets and advancements over the past few years. It just,
it's nice.
They're thinking about everything for the kayaks, man. There's every other kind of accessory you could imagine.
Exactly. I kind of wonder what's next, man. You got motors on, you got trolling motors on these, these boats now, and so I wonder what's next.
So the fishery there in the area, in Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Northeast Florida, that's pretty diverse. I mean, you can get a mixed bag. You can catch a slam, you know, redfish, trout, flounder.
Yep.
I know there's a lot of whiting and pompano in the surf, and then, you know, cobia offshore in the summer. On some of them flat days in the summer, that seems like that would be cool, something to do. Go try to find cobia or tarpon or kingfish, you know, offshore there.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know, and I don't know if I'm gonna get flack for this, but there's a decent population of resident snook. Nothing crazy, but you know, it's not uncommon to run across your slot size snook. I mean, I haven't gotten on them, but I definitely know some dudes that figured it out and can put you on them. But everything mixed bag.
One of my Jackson teammates actually lives in St. Augustine and guides down there. Bart Swab, he guides out of Jackson's down there in St. Augustine and in that area. You know, so he's caught some snook down there. There's some fish to be found. You know, we have some here and there too. Around our area, you know, a little more towards Brownsville, South Padre, Port Isabel, but we have a few here and there up on the middle coast, and you know, but we had that big freeze, you know, kind of put a damper on some things. They just passed the new slot limits today.
Really?
You know, little emergency order. Texas Parks and Wildlife along with CCA came up. It's going from Sargent down south. It's going to go to 3 trout, 17 to 23 instead of 5 at 15 and over with only 1 over 25. So they're going to adjust that for the you know, for the biomass to expand. With the spawning and everything. So you know, there's a couple ways they could have went about it, but you know, I'll just trust that they know what they're doing.
You know how they do. They know what they're doing, man.
Oh, I know. They know they know what they're doing. We'll see what happens with the fishery. I'm still lucky to be catching some good ones. You know, you know, and that's one of my favorite fish, that speckled trout. So, you know, around that area, y'all can find some pretty good fish at times. You know, and this time of year, is it cool over there in Jacksonville in those feeder creeks? You got to find the little deep holes and get on them.
Yeah, you got to find some deep holes up in there. I mean, it's not difficult to do. We got some pretty deep creeks.
Yes.
But as far as the water temps, we got a nice little snap last week, and I mean, we were shocked. It was out in the water. Said Phil was air temp was supposed to be like 29. Real Phil was like 20. Water was down in the lower 40s. But the redfish were still having at it like nobody's business, man.
Sometimes it makes them even crazier.
And I'm telling you, they were doing death rolls on the bait. Like, I ain't never seen them act like that. But
sometimes that colder water stun the bait, stun the shrimp.
Yeah.
If the shrimp still in the marsh, like we had shrimp still in the marsh on our last cold snap, and them fish was in there just acting silly on them, man. I like redfish too, but man, the
trout guy.
I'm a trout guy.
Yeah, we got some decent sized ones here. I mean, it takes actually this time of year to really work a pattern on them.
Yeah,
they'll pop up, on you, but this time of year, it's they're more slow. This time of year, slow, big bait, slow. You know what I mean? You can get them. But I'm stuck on redfish. I'm stuck. I don't know what it is, man. They fight so hard there.
I love the redfish too, but man, I love them. I switch to trout this time of year, and I do like to go find a redfish, especially when they're up in those, the little creeks in the marsh, the little deeper bends, and you can throw a crankbait and work it real slow. And then, I love a redfish bite on a crankbait. It's insane.
Never tried it.
Little square bill, especially if you can get it down to where it just barely bumps the mud and it makes little puffs of mud like a little crab going across. Oh, them redfish will come up and smack it. They'll just straight eat it, man. Okay. So redfish over there, though, y'all got a lot bigger tidal swing than we have. We might have 1 or 2 foot at the most, and over there you're getting 4 to 6.
Yeah.
So being in a kayak in that, it's got to be the current you deal with, and then the low water conditions you could put yourself in. If you're back up in a creek and off on a flat and the water drops out, you're gonna be in some mud. Has that happened? Speaking from experience.
It's a few things I wasn't gonna talk about. Yeah, I've been bottomed out, and it can happen easy, especially if you're on a bite and you got your back to the bank. You don't really have a reference like in front of you, and you're just fishing away. And next thing I know, I'm trying to paddle out, and I'm like, dude, I look down, and it's complete.
Can't get out. But that's the thing. Like most days there, you'll have 4 tides. You'll have the low tide, a high tide, a low tide, and a high tide. So it'll, in another 3 hours, you might be getting water back in there, but then you're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck for a while.
The water moves quickly, though. Once you get that slack tide, it ain't but a matter of minutes before it's turned back the other way.
Yep.
Depending on your wind, but yeah. I've been stuck a few times. I know a few guys probably listening right now. They've been stuck.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I've been back in some spots and had some wind changes come in, fishing some fronts and fishing some dumps when we get a big strong front, and had the water just absolutely leave the area and just be. You're just dragging for a couple hundred yards trying to get back to paddleable water. It's pretty crazy when it happens. All parts of it. It's all part of it.
Yeah, it is.
Learning new areas too. It's got to be different, especially, like for me to go over there and fish back home on the East Coast over there, I just have to take a whole different approach because I'm not used to those tide changes anymore. That's what would be pretty weird about that. Man, cool deal. Well, hey, while I'm thinking about it right here, we're going to talk about, what you got on the screen right there, the estuary code.
Oh, yeah. Is that right there?
Yeah. You talk about that. What kicked off the idea to start that brand, Give everybody a little backstory on that and then what the brand's about, man. Definitely.
The name is what was new. The idea has been around forever. Like I've been bouncing it back and forth between, whether or not I'm going to do it or not. But name, I remember flying over Jacksonville. And you look down out of the plane. If you catch it on a good day, you can see all these fingers of rivers and creeks cutting and splitting the land up. And to me, that's like one of the most beautiful things. And what that represents is big water feeds little water. Yep. Even your creeks. I mean, your streams. You get evaporation, you get precipitation, and that flows the stream. Big water feeds little water, and I think even bigger than that on a personal level, I've showed so many people how to fish to feed themselves. You know what I mean? But long story short, a lot of the brands out here really don't have that backbone as in tune with the angler so much. You know what I mean? I represent the bank fishermen. I represent the guys dragging kayaks at 4:30 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? The guy stuck in the mud with the paddle or the paddle drive. I represent all that because I've done that all. And I know a lot of guys who, fly fish in the streams and whatnot like that. I like to get into it. That's a whole different grind. And all people see is the pictures. We holding the fish up. They don't see the grind it took to get to that point and to figure these fish out as much as we do.
Right.
Is a big thing. So I kind of want to capture the essence and the beauty of fishing into a brand. And real quick, everything you see, the graphics, they're made by me and my girlfriend in-house.
Yeah.
We design everything ourselves. I wake up in the morning literally like a zombie, and I'm like, all right, this is the logo. This is what I want.
This is the idea. Yeah.
Exactly. She'll put it together. Right now I'm wearing the Redfish Swirl shirt. I don't know if I turn around and see if you can catch it.
If you're watching, you can catch that. Oh, look at that. Check that out. Yeah, I saw you had a post the other day that kind of had the timeline of that. It was a picture and it went out and it
Exactly.
showed the progression of it into the logo that actually ends up on this back of that shirt.
I caught that sucker, and I tell you what, he put. I don't know if you can see, man. He put a nice little jab in my finger. I think I got a swim fin stuck in my finger from the dude,
man. Yeah, sometimes them things that'll turn infected, and you'll get that finger ballooning up, man.
Yeah.
You gotta watch that for that fish funk.
I've been keeping an eye on it.
yeah. Nah, man, that's a rad shirt. I know I definitely gotta head over there, and get me some stuff. I caught that one called my eye. You got one with the plastic boat division. That's a pretty cool dang logo too.
Yeah.
Y'all, man. So what kind of plans y'all got for that? Y'all just rolled that out. Pretty new company.
Yeah, well, it's everything you see is kind of things I've been I've been saying for years, just between me and my friends. But the plastic boat division is literally because you wake up early in the morning, you got your ritual, you got your coffee or whatever you're doing, you meet your buddies or whoever, and you feel like what I'm saying, like a call to action per se. So I felt that was a suitable name for it. But pretty much, and looking out, we want to keep everything in house.
Yeah.
We want to print the shirt. When take the order, print the shirt, package it, slide a couple goodies in there. You know what I'm saying? You might get a mirror lure in your bag or something, and a handwritten note. And but right now we're kind of limited on what we can do. We don't have shirts in bulk. You ever heard of a T-shirt shortage? Because that's what's going on right now.
I can relate to that because I'd like to, kick some stuff back off myself. I started a small apparel company myself, Tidewaters Apparel, a few years back, and did a couple little runs of stuff here and there, and had some cool stuff come out, had some hats, had some nice stuff, and then just this past year with this, everything was like short. Richardson was hard to get stuff. BAW is hard to get stuff from. Sport Tech, all them little companies that you want to get. They still got they actually got some cool shirts. If you look and find the ones you need, but it's just been hard to get on it, and then writing articles and keeping up with the team for Jackson and just different obligations to sponsors and stuff is just kind of put it on the back burner. I just kind of left it alone. I still got a little bit here and there. I never ended up in the red. I actually made a little money here and there off of it, so I got lucky. Might just need to kick it back off. Yeah, man, your stuff caught my eye too, man. It was it's pretty cool. I like the logos. I like the concept, the name behind it, and the backstory of it's really cool. So for sure, man.
I appreciate that.
Hopefully see some growth, and probably gonna see a couple orders. My name come on through there here.
Bring it on, man. Bring it on.
So I need to go ahead and order me a couple things.
Yeah, we get your discount code started too. Anybody want to check it out? Go through you.
There you go. Shoot, yeah, man. Yeah. So, being that you're over there, have you had a chance to dive into any of the tournaments?
Okay. So, the job that got me here was the worst thing ever. I was a manager for FedEx, dude. I had never had a day off.
Oh, man.
I couldn't plan it. I couldn't play in a tournament. You know what I mean? I kind of just within the past year, my schedule's been a lot more flexible. What I'm doing now, and I definitely plan on it this year. I just got my Hobie actually. I think it was about 4 months ago, and that's a game changer for me. And I can get to the spots I want to fish and fish it the way I want to. So this year, I'm looking to get in some tournaments. Actually, I think I'm doing a sheepheads tournament coming up next month.
Oh, cool deal.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I like those.
Yeah,
that's one of the forgotten fish, man, that people don't realize. They roam the flats too a little bit here in the winter. We got some shell and some reefs that they'll frequent, and they're fun to sight cast too. With little crab imitation lures like the cranker crab or the Savage Gear makes one. Yeah, them things are pretty dang fun to catch, man, and they're pretty good table fare too. They got a sweet white meat. You just gotta take your time cleaning them, and
those ribs.
There's some great eating fish, and they fight, man. They put up a good fight too.
Those are some deceitful fish, man. When you fighting those things, I'm thinking like, man, this is big right here. This is big, and all of them fight. All sizes just give you a run for their money, man.
There's some areas I target that I could pull some good trout off of structure.
Yeah.
And I've caught some, 22, 23-inch sheephead on soft dines.
Ooh,
and just think, man, what in the world do I got? And then
Oh,
pull and drag and woo.
That would mess me up right there.
Yeah. And then triple tail too. That's another one.
Oh man.
I hooked one right at the beginning of the fall. I hooked one and I couldn't turn it and it broke me off into the structure. It was a pretty dang good one.
Them boys don't play. They do not
things
play.
fight. I know y'all have them over there too.
Oh yeah.
They move around, move in and out here and there, with the water temps and everything. But man, that area over there, I sure do like that area. I'm gonna have to
come on, man.
I fished it in boats out of in banks out as a kid, but
yeah,
I really want to get over there and get the kayak. I'm gonna have to make a trip over there. But tournaments over there, there's plenty of stuff. You're gonna have some opportunities, like you were saying, you schedule lined out and all that. There's some pretty good stuff that goes on over that way. Good stuff.
Oh, yeah. We having fun over here, man.
Having fun. Sure, man. So what about the growth in the kayak fishing community over there? Can you pretty much go to a launch and like find some solitude, or are you seeing a lot of people on the water?
Okay, so the areas we see a lot of people at, those are the areas obviously overfished, but boaters, kayakers alike. But in the same token, there's a community of kayak fishermen who, take it serious. They take the time to research, and we find each other in the same areas. And any given time you go out, we're talking about sliding into the water, not on a boat ramp.
Not on a boat ramp, yeah.
Trees
somewhere.
Yeah, you're talking about in the brush. No, you really won't, man. And it's nice to know that you can go out to your spot, fish your spot, and boats can't get up in there.
Yep.
And it's just y'all, just you and the boys. So
I have some marsh areas like this that you can't, little culverts you have to go through and stuff, and there's no boats getting back there. It's actually pretty cool. That's the whole thing that kind of pushed me towards that kayak, was just opening up the area and then that freedom to launch wherever you found a public area that you could slide into the water at. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal for that kayak. It opens up a lot of opportunities at places you can fish.
It's a real tool, dude. Like you're talking about the advantages of kayaking, the stealthiness of it. If you approach it the right way, you can literally catch these fish. I locked eyes so many times with redfish. They didn't even know I was there. Just locked eyes. And it's like, oh shoot, you can see me. You can see me. It's just, you're in there with them, and you have so many shots at these fish that you wouldn't have. They hear you coming. They'll get lockjaw, or they might take off and head up a few bends. You never know. But the kayak definitely is a viable tool.
Stealth. There's times I've caught some good solid trout that I know if I would have been wade fishing that area from the silt I stir up or from the crunching on the shell, I would have spooked the fish long before I got a shot at them.
Right.
And being in that kayak has definitely afforded me a few more opportunities for sure.
You're right.
I talked to my boat friends. I got a lot of guys. I've fished some tournaments out of boats with them, and wade fishing and drifting flats for redfish and this and that. But I just said, you just can't beat the stealthiness of that kayak. You can't do it. You can't beat it.
You cannot do it, man. I like standing up and fishing too. It's still, from a boat to a kayak, that's still a lower profile as far as projecting a shadow, on the water. In the summertime, I throw net for mullet. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And those mullet are not dumb. You know what I mean? You gotta really sneak up on those mullet in that kayak, man. I'm telling you, you just glide up on them and pop them with the net. They never know what's coming.
And that's for bait. You use that for bait sometimes.
I use that for bait. I do everything. I do lure, soft baits. I do hard baits. I do top water pop. All that stuff.
Sometimes they want them mullet, man. They want them little finger mullet or mud minnows, glass minnows.
Yep. That was the case last weekend. They would not take a lure. Wouldn't do it. Do a little mud minnow on. Game on.
Lights out.
Mm-hmm. Lights out, exactly.
You're talking about baits now, so I'm going to throw one out there for you.
Yes, sir.
Big baits, big fish? Yes? No? What you think?
This is going to be controversial, man. I think that's one of those questions. So
It can.
I'm gonna start by saying, fellas, size does matter to a certain extent, but it depends on when you use that bait. So if you're writing notes down right now, trying to learn something and figure it out, don't write that at the top. Wait for it, okay? The wintertime trout, especially here, the bigger trout like a bigger bait with a slower presentation. It's an easy meal for them. It's an easy target. All in all, they don't have to risk much to get it. But my experience with redfish, I can't put that same pattern together with a redfish.
Yep.
I've thrown little live target shrimp out, and I've caught some bull.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I'd say for trout, go big in the wintertime, and that definitely works. Yeah.
Yeah, this time of year though, like man, them little Ned rig style baits for the redfish. Yeah. Are killer, and little small shrimp imitations, the bugs lures, little crankbaits. I throw the little 1.5 crankbaits and catch some monster redfish on it. It's crazy.
I gotta try that out, man. I wonder if they'll take that here. I'll try it.
Yeah. Not a wake bait, an actual crankbait that runs like 3 to 5 foot deep. Yep.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Chatterbaits too.
I've tried rattle traps. I've caught reds on rattle traps.
Yep.
I don't really like using those so much. They pick up so much crap. So
yeah, they run a little bit deeper. If you can find like the right size square bill, it'll work, and it'll be able to drag it through and work it around shell. It'll bounce off shell too. The lip will just hit the shell and kind of bounce back up, just like it bounces.
I'm trying to see. You're a big bass fisherman.
I fish a lot. Bass fish a lot too.
I just mess around a little bit, man. So yeah, I'm gonna try that out. I appreciate that.
I transition a lot of bass lures. Big glide baits, swim baits, big swim baits, 7-8 inch swim baits for trout. Yeah. Jerk baits, that's a big thing this time of year. Is suspending jerk baits.
Yes, sir.
Especially around deep shell, 5-7 foot deep, and getting that bait down and just a couple quick jerks and just pause it, just twitch, and just let it sit for 2-3 seconds, and then sometimes they'll 2, 3, 4 seconds, and then doink, and then they'll smoke it, man.
That's some long pauses right there. See, a lot of guys can't do that. They just never burn.
And I actually fish, the corky fat boys. I'll actually count those down and fish those in pretty deep water, around structure. A lot of people fish those. Sometimes you get your warmer days and the trout will move up onto the flats here and kind of feed as it warms up. After fronts, our water temp can get down in upper 40s and that, but you'll get a couple of warm afternoons and those fish might move up onto the flats. But there's days post front, like the day after, those fish will be weighed, they'll be backed off back in that deeper water, and I'll find them on structure and use that. I'll count that corky down, or a 17 MR mirror lure, or jerk baits over the structure. Same thing. It's just there's so much stuff out there to throw. It's just like. Can be confusing for sure.
I got a buddy. He just have something to look at him. He's looking in his tackle box. He's like, "What did I throw?" I'm like, "Man, just choose something. Pick something, man.
Pick something." Yep. Yeah. Bright and sunny, clear water. Throw something natural. A little bit of sparkle to it.
Bring back, yeah.
Yep. Yes, cloudy, overcast. Throw something a little darker.
Yep.
Dirty water. Put a little chartreuse. Put a little something bright.
The chartreuse will get them. That's what I keep.
Lime trues, with some disco flake, that little iridescent flake in it. Yeah. Yes, big fish, big baits at times. I see that. Yeah, the trout this time of year, the bigger, slower presentation. Definitely hands down takes the cake. For me too. They'd rather spend, energy chasing that one big bait to hold them over. Exactly. Having to spend all that energy more energy trying to catch, 5, 2-inch, 3-inch mullet. They'd rather eat a 10-inch mullet and be done.
They're smart.
Eat like 3 days later.
They are smart. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they don't get big for not
for
being stupid.
Yeah, those trout that we release over 20 because they know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, they sure do. They and that's a great program too. I've had David on the podcast too, Dave Flad from iStrike Fishing and the Release Over 20 initiative, and that's a great thing. I always try to release fish. I don't think I've kept one single trout since the freeze. I've released every trout that I've caught. And all the 20-inch fish, I always log them and put them into that program. It's a great deal.
Yeah.
We do have some great resources like Chris Bush with Speckled Truth. I'm rocking this shirt right now, actually.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah. Chris Bush has got a good thing, articles, and he does have the podcast also. I have to bring him on one of these days. I know he gets a lot of the old school salts, the old legends in trout fishing, and has some good stuff. Check him out. He has some good content and writes some damn good articles too. Give him some shout outs, some buds out there. But yeah, man, this kayak fishing thing, whew, man, it's like what you were talking to at the beginning, just time consuming, takes every little moment you get a free, like, I'm gonna fish. I mean, I'll even fish before work. Like, I'll wake up at 2 a.m. to go fish for 2 hours before I go to work, or I'll bring my stuff with me and I'll fish for 2 hours after work. On certain days, if I'm like in a long line tournament or something, I'm like all over it, man.
I think that's what I noticed about out there where you guys are. Y'all have more places to put in a kayak, don't you?
We have a lot of places to put in kayak.
Yeah. It's kind of tough. Sometimes it's tough. You got to get out to these places that everyone's there. Boaters are there. But yeah, I did notice that you guys can pretty much pull over almost anywhere on and slide on in. So
we have a lot of water access in the bay systems and stuff around here, and a lot of places you can actually walk in and wade fish from the bank there. Which is pretty cool. Nice. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. I'm very fortunate in my area. I'm close to some really good bass fishing lakes and some power plant lakes. And then I'm hour and 15 minutes from Corpus, 45 minutes from Rockport. Matagorda is an hour and 15 minutes. Surfside, Freeport, Galveston. All under 2 hours.
See, all those places are familiar because I watch those guys on YouTube.
You watch some of the YouTube guys.
Trail Chaser, MDLR.
Trail Chaser. I fish with Trail Chaser.
That's a cool dude, man. He's on the fly right now.
David's a good dude, man. He's a good dude. He did a cool deal with that little skiff he has. And then I have a channel I haven't posted since December of 2019.
Come on.
Because it's just too time consuming I'd rather just get some good pictures and content than work about editing on videos. It's you have to put a lot in it to really build your following on YouTube with the the algorithm. You really need to post like once a week, a video a week and stuff. And I just I'll put one up every now and then. If I feel like filming, I feel like filming. Most of the time, if I'm on the fish, I'm just catching fish.
See, that's a tough one for me sometimes. I've lost fish going for that button. Going for the record button. Yes. And I hate doing it. So, but
and I'm not one to name spots either. And I just can't get down with that thing right there. Somebody can figure out where I'm fishing by my background. I know I've said this before in my podcast, but yes, I'm not for the spot burning for the. I'm not big on.
You gotta tilt the camera down at the yak. So they can't see nothing around you, man.
I've already had words with some that like fish some areas that are well known in like tournament anglers and stuff. And they just put it on blast. And next thing you know, there's like 12 freaking kayaks unloaded. Like one morning we were fishing a tournament, and there's usually like just the couple guys who fish tournaments are the ones launching in this area. And there was like 12 other kayakers, and they're all like cookie cutter, just like some of the other guys. It's pretty funny. It's pretty good, But yeah, but on the flip side, like some of these guys that are out there, they do put out some decent content and do put out some decent tips and tactics, which I give them credit for that.
Nathan, I just finished today. I spent the whole day watching Nathan, and I watched him from the beginning. That dude really tuned in. He's tuned in. He's on.
Oh yeah. Southern Salt,
Southern Salt,
Alabama.
Southern Salt.
I fish that area. I love that. I've caught some giant redfish on crankbaits over there, like 40-inch plus redfish on little bitty 2.5-inch crankbaits.
That's nice.
I'm telling you, that place is insane over there, and there's some good trout over there too.
Yeah, I see him on trout too. He gets on them,
Yeah, that man, I love. just love all fishing. If I could just fish everywhere, all the way across the coast, and from here towards Florida, all the way back up. And, you know, I'm already planning trips in my head. I was like, man, I want to go to Virginia next year in October to chase some big trout with Charlie Church, and I've had him on, and Miguel Madrano and Thomas Lick. Yeah. I want to go up there because, man, the trout fishery, the numbers right now that they're seeing this year, if they don't get a big freeze, next year is going to be freaking stupid.
And that's exactly what happened when I was there. It wasn't like that when I was there. Mm-hmm. About maybe 4 years ago, 3 years ago, is when I started seeing them. Like, these dudes are in the marsh bagging 20s, mid 20s, upper 20s, and in numbers too. So I kind of want to go back home.
Go visit, take a little bit. Yeah, the fall up there, they said, is just amazing. You know, it just, you know, won't dive in. It didn't dive into too many details to give away, but yeah. And that's how it is here. Once that fall kicks in here, we got a good little run of stuff. And, you know, in the winter, I kind of shift full speed for trout, you know, during the winter. Though I do go catch redfish every now and then, but man, it's just a big old yellowmouth coming up. Yeah.
I know what you mean. It's just, I don't know, the redfish, man, it's like a trout. You get him, you set hook on him, he pulls, he gives that, you know, that one fight at the boat that determines whether he's going to spit that lure. You know, he's going to get the best of you or not. And the redfish fight is like, I don't know, dude. It's just, I feel helpless, and I like it. I use low pro bait casters. Yeah. You know, I'm talking about 10 to 20 pound braid, 10 to 15 pound fluorocarbon. Mm-hmm. And I'm literally, I got that rod bent over and I love it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So redfish is my go-to. That's my go-to fish.
For sure. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, you can't beat the drag streaming pulls they have. You know, if anybody's, you know, I got some of the other hosts on our podcasts that were part of Paddle and Fin. You know, they're like, man, I need to come down and fish with Dustin and get on some redfish. I'm like, man, come on. You're going to have one hit, or you're going to have one blow up in your top water. You're like, what the hell was Looks like a dang cinder block thrown in the water. Bam,
exactly.
When they're schooling over here, they'll school and they'll be like 50, 65, 75 redfish coming. And there'll be birds following them, like doing hopscotch. That's what I call it. And then just run up on them and just rip one out. And you go catch back up to them. If they don't split up, rip another one out.
What you're doing is dangerous right now. I want to call out of work for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Go hit the water, all right?
I know, right? I got to be there tomorrow, too. My next day's off Monday, so I'm definitely hitting. I don't care if it's raining or lightning or whatever. I'm on the water. I am on the water for sure. Man, we rolling through. I got this little list here, and then I just kind of wanted to go over a couple other things with you. You know, getting in that kayak, you know, and staying organized. That's a big plus for me. You know, what is one of your favorite accessories that you've had or found over the years kayak fishing that definitely aids in that organization? You got anything in particular you like to use? Or
right now, I do have a Hobie. I use the Hobie bin. You know, I don't know if you know, but it's like a H-reel attachment. It's a nice size bin. I can put my leader line in there. But it has a tray on the top. And what I like to do, if I find the fish, say I have a live bait on, if I find a decent bite of fish, I'll put that live bait up, or I'll, change out and jig it, but I can keep it there. I don't have to open up a Plano, pop it open, put it back, throw it in the boat, run the risk of getting stuck in me. It keeps me organized, and I'm not by any means an organized guy, but it keeps me sane while I'm fishing on the water. But yeah, that definitely is I can't fish without it at this point. I've come a long way with it. I keep everything in there. Yeah.
There's a lot of great companies that make that. Just like you said, you got the H-reel attachments. You got that little bin. Yeah. It's got little cutouts. You can hang lures on it. You put pliers in there. You put everything. And there's a company that supports a podcast that I'm a part of their team. Yak Gadget has a lot of great accessories too. Yeah. I wouldn't be near as organized if I didn't have their low pro crate in the back, loaded down, and then their little organization bags that fit on the back of the seat, or there's one on the side that holds my paddle and 2 rods horizontally, so I can lay my rods down real quick, and get underneath something low or something if I want to throw them in there. Just like that to me is a big part of for me is like being organized and having everything in the same place every time, especially when you get in onto tournament days and you already don't want stuff getting in your head. You want to know where that I can reach down, that net's going to be there every time. I can reach over here and my pliers are there every time.
Yep.
Yeah, I preach that if I'm out, if I'm doing something, writing an article or say got to do a seminar on something, I'm gonna talk about organization. That's like that's a big part to me. Yeah. It's like, I got to stay organized.
I really had a hard time, organizing in that new canoe with the paddle, because you needed so much clearance to clear that paddle.
Yeah.
So now in the hobby, I'm like, oh man, okay, all right, this is how I'm gonna do it.
I got all kind of room now. Yep.
Yeah, I got my rods on my left side. I got my in-action rod holder sitting up here on the right side of me. But I utilize all the storage compartments. The under seat, I got 2 3600s under me, 2-tier for my hard baits. I got my soft plastic on the back of my seat. And then in the front compartment's where I keep my terminal tackle, my jig heads and whatnot. So I am now organized. Yeah, I'm an organized dude now. I'm a force to be reckoned with now.
There you go. I used those. Plano makes some. Bass Mafia makes some. Tackle Warehouse has some. They're called the money bags. They're like a big plastic Ziploc bag, but they're like thick. Yeah. And that's what I throw my soft plastics in there. I throw them there and put them right behind the seat. It fits right in there above my battery, and then I got my boxes lined up in my crate, and it's just stuff like that. That little rail attachment to organize my fish grip, my pliers, and keep everything. I got a cup holder, a couple of them. Couple cup holders go a long way too, throwing some jig heads and little extra stuff in there all the time. I got to clean all that out when I get home. I got like lures here and there, wake bait, spinner bait, redfish magics, all of them.
My cup holder starts out with a Red Bull in the morning, and then by the time I load back up, ain't no telling what's in that cup holder that I got to get out before I hit the road. I use a trailer, you know what I'm saying? So
I come off a rough day and it'd be like freaking plastic tails everywhere, shrimp imitation, paddle tail, fluke, got 4 top waters on the floor, like 2 wake baits in the cup holder and jerk baits, and in the winter it's corkies everywhere. And then I got to get home and clean them. I'll hang them all up. I'm lucky. I got a pretty good garage, and my trailer just backs right up in there, and I just slide my kayaks off onto it. If I don't want to drag the trailer, and then I got a good rack. I hang all my baits and let them dry, and I like that. I need to clean it up more often. Or not, it's like a dang. Look like a tackle store in there.
I'm working on a reel right now to drag because I need some attention. But I forget, man. Everybody does it. You get off the water, you're so tired from dragging and all that stuff like that.
Yep.
I completely forgot I dunked the reel.
Man.
And that's no good. I got to break it all the way down and
break it all down and clean it.
Yes, sir.
Sure do. Yep. That's a big plus of being on top of things too, is real maintenance and maintaining your gear. That's another thing. I could talk a whole segment about that. For real. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Some people need to hear it though.
From landing a fish though. That can keep you from landing the fish of your life right there.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, come prepared. Come prepared. Now clean your reels and make sure the drag's right. Because you never know when that fish of a lifetime is going to hit.
Retie them knots.
Retie them knots. I get lazy sometimes. I run my hand. I'm like,
on there. The fresh leader on there. That jig head has been sitting there for 2 weeks and you hadn't fished. There's definitely been some rust, and it been putting some soft spots in that leader line. Ooh, especially at the knot. You have a knot fail, that's a heartbreaker. Right there. Man.
Yeah. You want to minimize those mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. It's happened to me. So I speak from experience right there.
Yeah, you want to bite. You don't want to you second guess retying sometimes. Like, is it really that bad? And then you'll find out when you hook the right one and it's gone.
Yep. I do use Twitch fish clips for my top waters.
I've heard of them. Buddy,
Yeah, they're out of
you know,
Louisiana.
Franco.
Yeah, they're out of Louisiana. They're pretty good. I haven't had one of those fail. Now, some of the little twist ones from Norman, I've had those break and pull apart on big redfish, but the twitch fish clips, I haven't had anything break on them yet.
I use a tactical anglers. You know, I use them back.
Yeah, they're the very similar, I believe, to the twitch fish. Very similar.
Yep.
Yeah.
That FG knot, and then that tactical angler clip. Ain't nothing breaking unless, you know, it's malfunction, dude.
Yeah.
That FG knot is tough. Beat.
Yep. Oh yeah, well you can get it tied right. They're just hard to tie on the water sometimes.
Oh, I don't know. I don't do it on uni knot on the water, but
yeah, I'll do an Alberto. I'll do an Alberto on the water.
Yeah, I do a crazy Alberto.
But at home, if I got a time to tie FG knots on all my leaders the night before, I'll do all FGs. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, sure. Definitely.
I'm in.
Well, dude, man, I appreciate you coming on the show tonight, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
Good stuff, dude. And Estuary Code taking off, man. I'm hoping that blows up, and takes off.
I do too, man.
You know,
I hope we can we all, you know, end up learning from all this, because I'm not hiding nothing. We homegrown. We right here with it, man. Doing it right now.
Right there. Yeah, y'all can give Mac a follow at Estuary Co on social media. You know, it's at estuary.co, estuary.co. And then also he's got his other account, you know, the Plastic Boat Boy. Go give him a follow, man. Go show him some love. Show us what the tide chasers do, man. We support each other and bring that community closer together. That's what it's all about. That's what the big thing about kayak fishing that really made me love the sport even more was all the camaraderie with everybody. Once you meet everybody at tournaments and hanging out, you know, the greatest people I met. It's pretty dang cool, man. So, man, that's awesome. I appreciate you coming on the show, taking your time to come out and chat with me. You got anybody you want to thank, sponsors, support, or just anything, you know, shout out anybody, just get. I want to give a shout out to, and these are all Instagram names, Rich Fishing, North Florida Kayak Fishing, Johnny Two Swole, and Franco Fishes. My boy's out at a tournament right now. I think he's off the water today. The tournament's over, but you go over to IG, those names out, and you have some great content, man. Yeah, they'll be fishing. Is that the Extreme Kayak Series for the Sailfish? Is that Franco? Franco, yeah. What's his last name? Natividad. Natividad. Yeah. Oh yeah, I follow him too. And Johnny, I need to get old Two Swole on the podcast too. Hey, you listening, man? You come on. Richard too. Yeah. All y'all. I'm about to get all of y'all on there. Shoot. You'll be tuned in. Hey, man, have some Matt guests up on here. Matt McLeese at Resellers Reef. Man, he has a great shop. Good knowledge, a lot of equipment, you know, that we here use and get the job done. And he's in tune with the fishing community, man. So check him out, Matt McLeese. Oh, cool deal, man. Shoot, yeah. Well, man, great show, man. I appreciate you coming on and sharing everything with everybody. Y'all go give Mac a follow and check out his company, Estuary Co. Appreciate that, man. Check it out. Website, check it out. Facebook, Instagram, it's all over there. Get some stuff rolling, get some love out there. So once again, thanks for coming on, man. We appreciate everybody tuning in and listening. This show wouldn't be where it is without the listeners and support from everybody out there. Thanks again for supporting Chasing the Tide and the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. And we'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.